UFC Paris. Main event is official. Imavov versus Barajo. Official. Ruffy versus BSD. Official. But we have one problem. We had a weight miss and a fight cancellation. Oh my. Losine Quieta. Missed weight versus Pitbull. Fight is off. Pitbull calls him a fat panther. Wow. Big, great fight. Gone because he'd missed weight. I think he weighed 149. He was supposed to weigh 146. So once again, Losine Quieta versus Pitbull is off. Let's get into some UFC news. Chael Sonnen's been busy. Let's talk about Chael P. Sonnen, the American gangster. Here's what he had to say about Johnny Bones Jones. John Jones does not deserve a main event spot on the UFC White House card. Period. Chael Sonnen does not think former UFC champion, light heavyweight champion, former UFC heavyweight champion, Johnny Bones Jones, deserves to main event any UFC card, let alone the biggest card of the century at the UFC White House, Washington, D.C. That's going to be a big card. Chael Sonnen also says Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan is currently in the works. They're trying to book the fight. They're trying to book it for this year. But Chael Sonnen says Ilia Topuria does not want to fight again in 2025. He wants to wait until next year. His brother, Alexander, who he corners and trains, is fighting in November. What do you guys think? Think Ilia should fight in December against Arman Tsarukyan, the number one contender? Or do you think he should sit out and fight once a year? Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Alex Pereira hinted again yesterday in an interview at a possible move to heavyweight. Here's what he had to say. Man, I'd like to see that. I'm going to listen to my body. Eventually, when it gets harder for me to go to light heavyweight, I'm definitely going to go to heavyweight. That's former UFC champion, middleweight champion, light heavyweight champion, double champion. Alex Poatan Pereira wants to move up to heavyweight before his career is over. Alex Pereira is 38 years old now. Two-division Glory kickboxing champion, two-division UFC champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, absolute stud, Chama. Former UFC welterweight champion, Kamaru, the Nigerian nightmare, Usman, said he makes the most sense as the next opponent for Jack Della Maddalena if he gets through Islam Makhachev. Here's what he had to say. If JDM defends his title and beats Islam at UFC 322, I believe it is, New York City, Madison Square Garden. If JDM defends his title and beats Islam, who better to solidify him as the new generation's champion than the bigger name, the former pound-per-pound king of the division, me, Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman versus JDM, what do you guys think? I just don't think JDM gets through Islam. I think Islam gets it done. I really do. I really do. Bo Nickel returns at UFC 322, New York, Madison Square Garden. This guy only fights on the big shows. Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo Vieira is 11-3, and Bo Nickel is 7-1. So it's BJJ black belt versus All-American wrestler. Should be a fun one. I wonder if it'll be a stand-up fight. Let's see. UFC Paris. Let's go over our picks for UFC Paris. Let's do it. See what we got. And once again, we lost a fight. Pitbull versus Quieta is off. It's off. See ya. All right. Let's go right to the early prelims. We got Shauna Bannon, the women's strawweight, versus Sam Hughes. I'm going with Ireland. Shauna Bannon. Yeah, I like Shauna Bannon. I really do. I think she's getting better on the striking. Her all-around game's getting better. I'm going with Shauna Bannon. We got Andreas Gustafsson versus Renat Fakhdinov. Yes, I said that right. Thank you. I'm going to go with Andreas Gustafsson in an absolute war. That's what I'm going with. I could be wrong. We're going with Brad Tavares versus Robert Bryczek. I'm going at Brad Tavares. Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters. We're going to go with Trey Waters on this one. This is a welterweight bout, 170. Lightweight bout, Harry Hardwick versus Chael Fernandez. I'm going to go with England's Harry Hardwick. Heavyweight bout, Marcin Tybura versus Ante Delija. Poland versus Croatia. I'm going with Tybura on this one. Light heavyweight bout, Umar Sy versus Brenson Ribeiro. I'm going with France. I'm going with Umar. William Gomez versus Robert Rushalala. This is France versus Poland. This is at 145. I'm going to go with France. I'm going to go with Gomez. Once again, Pitbull versus Chieta off. Welterweight bout, Axel Sola versus Rice McKee. I'm going with Rice McKee, Ireland here. Lightweight bout, Bolaji Oki versus Mason Jones. Oh my, this is going to be a tough one for me to pick, but I'm going to lean towards Belgium and Oki. Light heavyweight bout, Modestas Bukakas versus Paul Craig. I think Paul Craig gets it done. I do. Coming back, Scotland. And here we go. Co-main event and main event. Benoit Saint-Denis, France versus Mauricio Ruffy, Brazil. I'm going with Brazil. I'm going with Ruffy. Highlight KO. I'm doing it. I'm going for it. Putting the money down too. Nasruddin Imavov versus Kai Barajo. I'm going with Barajo. There you go. I'm going with the Brazilians for the win in the co-main event and the main event. And that's all we got for UFC news. UFC Paris starts a little earlier in the afternoon tomorrow. Have a great day and fight.